Good day, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Power is Now teleconference. At this time, all participants are in a listen-only mode. Later, we will conduct a question-and-answer session, and instructions will be given at that time. If you should require assistance, please press star then 0. As a reminder, this teleconference is being recorded. I now turn your call over to your host of the Power is Now teleconference, Eric Frazier. You may begin.
Good morning and welcome to the Power is Now teleconference. The phrase, the power is now, suggests that we maximize our potential for success in business and life when we act on information and opportunities now. The present is our future because the future is only a reflection of past decisions to act now, and we are at our best, and we maximize our success when we act now. That's what the Power is Now is all about, folks, acting now. My name is Eric Frazier, host of the Power is Now teleconference, and this is teleconference number 73. It's amazing how quickly time goes by. I'm also the president of the Orange County Association of Real Estate Brokers, a chapter of the National Association of Real Estate Brokers. Please go to our website at www.oc, as in cat, O-C-A-R-E-B as in boy.org. You can also check out the National Association at www.nareb.com. Learn more about OKRAB and NAREB, especially OKRAB here in Orange County. We have some fantastic things going on. In fact, we have an event tomorrow at National University at 11 o'clock. Senior Vice President from Bank of America in charge of retail operations will be speaking to our group. And also, Tina Estrada from the Omni Group will be talking about how to buy HUD homes. So we look forward to seeing you tomorrow at National University. Please go to the website, register for the event, and learn more about the opportunities to work in a fabulous organization, one of the oldest trade associations in the country. I'm also the branch manager of Wells Fargo Home Mortgage, North Orange County markets. Please consider using one of our team members on your next transaction, and you can contact any member of our team on the team website. We're called the Do It Now Team, thedoitnowteam.com. And if you're listening outside of Orange County, please go to our national website, wellsfargo.com/mortgage, and get in contact with a local mortgage consultant. One of the things that makes Wells Fargo stand out among the competition is our close-on-time guarantee. Ladies and gentlemen, it is an unprecedented commitment to closing a transaction on time. If Wells Fargo is at fault for not closing a transaction on or before the close of escrow date, we will make the borrower's first month's principal and interest payment. And that's true. Principal interest payment. We will make the client's first month's principal interest payment. And in fact, we don't even actually make the payment for them. We write them a check, and that check accompanies a letter of apology if, again, it is our fault for not closing a transaction on time. Now, being business owners, many of you are, you realize that that is a direct hit to the bottom line of Wells Fargo. So Wells Fargo is seriously committed to closing transactions on time, and I want to encourage you, if you are concerned about a transaction closing late and you want some added insurance or protection, you owe it to your client and to yourself to consider Wells Fargo on your next transaction and leverage the close on time guarantee. The Power is Now teleconference is a series of teleconference meetings designed to empower real estate agent partners to sell more homes, expand their business of buyers and sellers, and be well informed about changes in lending and government programs that may affect your clients and your business. Please email or call me with any questions or about the Power is Now teleconference. If you have any suggestions for topics or for speakers, please let me know. You can reach me directly at 1-800-261-1634, extension 741, or just drop me an email at eric.frazier@thepowerisnow.com, eric.frazier@thepowerisnow.com. If you're listening for the first time and you would like to get on our mailing list, please email me and just put on the subject line, add me to the list, so we can make sure you receive our flyers and announcements about future calls and speakers. In a couple of weeks, we will be launching the Power is Now website. It will be www.thepowerisnow.com, so look out for that. Today's speaker is JK Huey, and perhaps you got the flyer Our subject today is So You Want to Be a Short Sale and REO Agent. Well, we're certainly talking to the right person if you're interested in doing that. JK Huey is a Senior Vice President of REO and Short Sales for Wells Fargo Home Mortgage. Headquartered in San Antonio, Texas, in her role, Huey is directly responsible for managing all REO, short sale, and deed in lieu of activities for the servicing channel. Huey has 28 years in the mortgage industry. She joined Wells Fargo in 2009, and prior to Wells Fargo, she was a servicing manager at IndyMac Bank and held senior management positions with Washington Mutual, Homeside Lending. In fact, Ms. Huey has been involved in mortgage banking all the way back to the early 80s, in fact, into the early 80s, being the president of the Texas Mortgage Bankers Association. Along with being a certified mortgage banker, accredited mortgage professional, a member of MORPAC, and the Loan Administration Steering Committees of the Mortgage Bankers Association of America, Huey was the president, again, of the Texas Mortgage Bankers Association from 1998 to 1990, the past chairman of multiple committees and the recipient of the Young Mortgage Banker of the Year in 1992. She also has experience on the LPS Mortgage Advisory Board, Freddie Mac Servicing Advisory Board, Fannie Mae Customer Advisory Group, and with Big Brothers and Sisters. Huey is a graduate of the MBA School of Mortgage Banking, holds the designation of Master Certified Mortgage Banker, and Accredited Mortgage Professional. She also has a master's degree in Business Administration from Our Lady of the Lake University. JK, thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedule to be with us today on The Power Is Now.
Eric, thank you very much for asking me to be a part of this. I'm really pleased to be here.
Well, we appreciate it, and we know how busy you are. In fact, we have a hard cutoff today at 11:30. We know you're going to be jumping on a plane and heading off to some other events, and so I really appreciate you taking time out of your schedule. I'm so impressed, JK, with your experience and your background. You have been in the business for a long time. You've led organizations, and in fact, I notice here in your resume that you've even been involved in production. You were with Harbor Financial Mortgage and Bank Plus Mortgage. What was your role in those positions there?
Well, Eric, I think I want to preface that with saying that I encourage if anyone really wants to make a career in this industry, that if your ultimate career option is to be in servicing, you should experience the production operation, and if you ultimately want to make a career out of the production operation, you should experience what goes on in servicing. I think it's just going to give you a much better rounding of what goes on in the industry on these loans from the beginning until the end. And so I consciously made a decision after being in servicing for a long time to get into the production side of the business, and my husband was actually wanting to get into that business, and so I helped him start up an operation, which ultimately became a part of Harbor, which you had mentioned. And it's kind of interesting. I did that for about 4 years and ultimately went back into the servicing and corporate side because you do at some point decide which role is best for you. But I tell you what, it was a great experience for me. In fact, my husband is still in that operation, and one of the things that I had told him when we first got into that business, because it was kind of crazy with refis and such at the time, and being in the business for a long time, I told him, I said, remember one thing. If I tell you this, don't get caught up in the niche timing of refis, because you will be rich one minute and you'll be poor the next, because refis come and go. And I said, whatever you do, make it a priority to pick out your specialty in this business, whether it be with new building construction or resales, but always make sure that you build a great partnership with whatever builder you may be working with and the realtors that you want to build relationships with. He stuck to it, gets a few refis every now and then, but I will tell you that anyone that follows that theory, if you will, you know that you're going to have a strong partnership long term, and I'm a true believer in that. We can't do this business by ourselves. You have to have those partnerships in order to make it work. So it's so important to build those relationships, and I'm glad to report he's continued to do that and has stayed in the business ever since then.
Well, that's fantastic. We all know that in the last few refinance booms, many agents, many loan consultants exited the business, or they were terminated because they couldn't make the transition from a refinance to a purchase market. So your husband is wise to follow your advice because he's always had those relationships, and he's always been there for those real estate agents through the low-hanging fruit time where refinancers were just walking in the door to the more challenging times where rates are up, but he still has people who are selling homes and buying homes. So selling and buying is going to always be there, isn't it?
That's right. That's right. People do move, and people do move up, even when the economy is tough, and so it's good to have those relationships in place to ensure that you keep that business rolling.
Well, what a great message to our Wells Fargo loan consultants who may be listening to the call, that we need to be absolutely committed to servicing our real estate community. At the same time, we want to service our customers who have the need to refinance, but we have to maintain our relationships. And that's what this call is all about, is not only maintaining our relationships with real estate professionals in our area, but also being a resource to them for information to help them grow their business. And that's why you're on the call today. And again, I really appreciate it. So our subject is, so you want to be a short sale and REO agent. You probably can speak to this better than anyone because you deal with short sale and REO agents all the time. But before we answer that question, give me a little idea of the scope of your job. You are the senior vice president, and who do you report to, and how many people do you manage, and how much is under your? Let's give our audience an idea of how fabulous and powerful you are.
Okay. Well, I don't know about the fabulous and powerful part, but I can certainly give the group an idea of my realm of responsibilities. And I am over all of the short sale and deed in lieu and REO operations for the Wells Fargo Home Mortgage Group, which includes, especially a lot of people that may be on this call from California, may remember the World Savings Wachovia company that we acquired, and we had what we called the pick-a-pay portfolio. And so all of the short sales, deeds in lieu, and REO that are a part of those portfolios are under my responsibility. I've got about 1,600 people that ultimately report up to me. I have a senior manager who is over all of short sales who reports to me directly, and a senior manager who is over REO that reports to me directly, and then some other managers that have other responsibilities in the group. And ultimately, we've got operations throughout the country. Some of the people, especially out in California and some of the markets like Arizona, Nevada, and Florida, and a few other pockets, we have people actually in the field on the ground that are working hand in hand with the real estate community, also with some of our home mortgage consultants. Out in California, this is a well-known practice that we have at Wells. And I think the community has really given us some good feedback on that. But we have operations all over California. We have an operation in San Antonio. We have groups in Des Moines, Milwaukee, and Fort Mill, for the most part, are where my operations are at. And like I said, some people out on the ground in other states. But I actually report up to Mary Coffin, who is the head of the mortgage servicing operation for Wells Fargo Home Mortgage. And Mary, of course, reports up to one of our co-presidents, Kara Hayden. And so that's the organization that I'm responsible for. We are very busy, as you can imagine, managing the portfolio of properties that are for sale right now, whether it be through REO or whether it be through some of the real estate agents that are marketing properties for our customers who are trying to sell their property possibly through a short sale.
Well, JK, you have a huge span of control. I will never, ever complain to my boss about being busy. You've got a lot going on, a lot of people under your control. Another thing, too, I just want to say this. I love the name JK. It's so cool. Now, your real name is Janice K., but your friends call you now JK, right? JK Huey.
That's right. I've been JK since I was born. It's just a nickname that my dad came up with me. Maybe he expected me to be his running buddy, and a tomboy I was. And so, and being from Texas, initials are a thing. You know,
Right,
I'm many
sure.
times called JR, but fortunately I am not JR Ewing of Dallas. I don't have the same demeanor that he did. Hopefully I have a little bit better demeanor than he did.
Right. Well, you know, just a first name with initials is very